YouTube, catching up with you guys, which is absolutely great. But look, in this video tonight, I'm going to have a chat with you guys. Pretty keen to hear from you and see how you're going during these times of challenging times of isolation, lockdown during COVID. And plus, we're going to have a chat a bit later down the track about some early track closures that are going on in the Victorian High Country. So we'll touch on those a bit later on down the track. But hopefully there's a few of you there on board. If you can hear this loud and clear, give us a thumbs up. That'd be great. Chris, okay, mate, how you going? Thanks very much for dropping in. Appreciate that, mate. But let us know, where you're coming in from, and hopefully this is all coming to you pretty loud and clear, because this is the first one I've done on YouTube. Done a few on other social media platforms, but here we are here tonight. Here we go. I've got a few come through. Lee, how you going there, mate? Good. Craig, good on you, mate. Thanks very much for dropping in. So, pretty keen to hear from you guys, how you're dealing with this ISO. The lockdown time we've been now going through for, probably 6, 7, 8 weeks. I'm sure a few of us are doing our heads in, and, we're not able to get out and go camping in, the places that we certainly like to go and do. But in the day, we're all got to be patient here, and hopefully, we can get out sort of sometime soon. Jaden, how you going there, mate? That's pretty good. Going insane. Mate, you won't be the only one that's going insane, I can tell you that. Without going bush, look, we're all pretty keen to get out there, mate. Damien, Jason, thanks very much, guys. Thanks for dropping in there. Greg and Simo, cheers, guys. So we'll get into this. But look, there's, with Queen's birthday weekend coming up, when I say it's only coming up, it's sort of, still about 4 weeks away. Provided, we can get out, who knows what we're going to be able to do as far as, getting out and about for Queen's birthday weekend. But I think we're maybe going to get a bit of, maybe some good news in the next couple of days, which might give us a bit of freedom to maybe do a little bit. But who knows what that is at this stage. We're just going to have to wait and see. But up until now, I'll give you some tips on what's going on with some early track closures. Now, these track closures happen every year, so they just not come in. They're not new ones, just because of what's going on with COVID and everything else. So for those of you who like to do, Davies Plain and over that sort of area, now these first few tracks that I'm going to mention, these shut as of the 1st of May, and it happens every year, 1st of May, and these few tracks won't now open until 30th November. So, but these are actually shut now. So Davies Plain is certainly one, just in case, we can get out for the up-and-coming Queen's Birthday long weekend, which a lot of us like to go and do, because, it's the last really long weekend we get before the gates are open, and then they won't open again until Cup weekend. So it's generally a pretty big weekend. So taking into account these few track closures we're going to talk about, look, there's a few others too, but these are a couple of main ones that I'm going to mention right here. Matt, how you going there, mate? Also, long time able to go full drive, and so some upgrades on the full drive. Well, it's probably a good time to be doing that, mate, while you're locked down, not being able to go out and do a great deal, that's for sure. But look, we'll get into some of these tracks. Now, Davies Plain is certainly one of them. As I say, shuts on the 1st of May and now won't open till 30th of November. And then the other one is that Clear Hills track. Now, for those of you that know that one around that Mansfield area, and this is a popular track when it comes to doing Craig's Hut and those sort of things. Absolutely stunning drive, up at the top of Mount Sterling there. But Clear Hills track is now officially shut as of 1st of May, and 3rd of November it will open again. So between top of Monument track, if you're going to Craig's Hut, you can still get up Monument track. Again, this is all in case we can travel for Queen's birthday weekend. So just keep that totally, in mind there, just in case we can get out. So as far as Clear Hills goes, from the top of Monument track, right over the top of Mount Sterling, down to Harkle Gap Huts, where it meets up with the Circuit Road, that track is now effectively shut. And one of the reasons why that one and a few of the others I'm going to mention, that one is actually managed by Mount Buller Resort Management. Now, Mount Buller Resort Management, they manage that, so they closed that one down about a month early, so they can start getting ready for their snow season. But who knows whether that's going to happen for them this year as well with everything's going on. So we don't know about that. But anyway, those tracks are managed by them, and so they close it early because that run over the top of Mount Sterling is a very popular track for cross-country skiers. So that's why they close that one down. And then getting on to the next one is Butcher Country track. Now, that's a fairly popular track too, out of Lacola, between Lacola and Howard High Plains. So that track is now shut. Again, same dates, 1st of May, 30th of November, before it will open up again. So need to keep that one in mind because, if we can get out for the Queen's Birthday long weekend, that Lacola area is another very popular area, for going through from, Lacola, if you want to go to Howard High Plains rather than going all the way to Tamworth Road and around that way. So, so that's a big one. Butcher Country now shut. What else have I got on the list there now? This next one. What we got going on there? Mark, how you going there, mate? Saving plenty of mods to be done on since working 6 days a week. Well, at least you're working, mate. So that's a good thing. If you've actually taken over and still got a job, that's fantastic, mate. Because not many of us are able to get out. So absolutely great stuff there if you're able to still go to work. Brad, what's going there, mate? How clean is the patrol, basically? Mate, it hasn't been out a great deal, I can tell you, in the last probably 7 or 8 weeks. It's been out of the garage just outside there, a couple of times over that time, but it's really only been to zip down to the supermarket or whatever to grab a couple of bits and pieces, but that's about it, and then bring it home and park it up. But yeah, the old patrol, it's pretty itching to get out and get itself locked into low range too. I can tell you right now, it's probably more eager as much as eager as I am to get out there. So we'll just have to see what happens, as time goes on. But then I'll get into this one now. This track closure is absolutely a big one. So again, it takes in that Mansfield, Craig's Hut area. Now again, this one happens every year too. It's not a new one. So around that Mansfield area. So if you want to go to Craig's Hut now, generally the quickest way to Craig's from Mansfield is up the Mount Buller Road, turn off just the other side of the toll gates, hang a lefty there, and then up the Mount Sterling track up to, Telephone Box Junction, and then you can go left or right there, depends on which way you go. You can go around the Circuit Road, and up to Craig's Hut. Now, that's the quickest way through under normal times. Now, at the moment, it's still open, but again, we can't travel, so it's still open. But coming Queen's Birthday weekend, this is a big one you really need to take into account. So this track, from all the way I've mentioned, from the toll gates up Mount Sterling Road, all the way to Telephone Box Junction. Now, if you go right from Telephone Box Junction, there's a gate just the other side of Harkle Gap Hut. And then you come the other side. If you go left from Telephone Box Junction, there's a gate just before where number 3 track comes out on the Circuit Road. Now, that will be 100% closed as of the 5th of Friday, the 5th of June, which is the day before the Queen's Birthday long weekend. Again, that's all managed by Mount Buller Resort Management. And again, they're getting ready for their cross-country snow season because that Telephone Box Junction, for those of you who have been there, you see all the infrastructure there. Well, that's a big gathering there. All the cross-country skiers, that they all meet there and then they go off and, do their things from there. So, and then the roads, that part of the Circuit Road is certainly set up for them, when it's covered in snow. And I'll probably say at the moment it's probably got a bit of snow sitting on it with what we had over certain last few days. So really take that one into account because it tell you what, it catches a lot of people out, particularly on Queen's Birthday. They want to go to Craig's. Everyone wants to go to Craig's for, before the gates close. So take that one into account. So the only way from Mansfield over Queen's Birthday weekend will be before the toll gates. You've got Carter's Road there, which turns off to the left. That is going to be your only way up, or your quickest way up is up Carter's Road, all the way up there until you get to Mount number 3 track, and then turn right onto Mount number 3, take that all the way through. Now, that's a really nice drive just in itself, quite scenic if it's a nice clear day, if it's not overcast. It's a really beautiful drive anyway. And then you go past Mount number 3 Hut, and eventually you'll come back out just on the Circuit Road, just before that gate that I mentioned will be closed if coming up from Telephone Box Junction. So when you get back on the Circuit Road from Mount number 3, you just turn left and then follow your circuit road round normally, all the way to Craig's Hut and then up to Craig's that way. But you have to come, if you're coming back to Mansfield, you'll have to come back the same way. Or, the other option is long way round. You could go down through Sheepyard Flat and all the way out through there, either down, 16-mile Jeep track or Harkwood Gap link track, and that sort of stuff. So you can certainly go that way as well, and up Binderee Road and past Binderee Falls on the circuit road, then up Monument into, Craig's that way. So just make sure you guys, if you're you take all those sort of things into account there. If you're travelling away, if you're thinking about getting away for Queen's birthday, provided we can. There are a couple of big track closures you certainly need to take into account. Jaden, what's going on there, mate? Have you seen Limestone Road up to Omeo since the fires? Haven't been myself. It's beautiful country. No, I haven't been up that way, mate, since I was in Omeo probably only about a month ago with a TV gig with What's Up Down Under. We filmed a little bit around there, but that's all been burnt out through there, and even my road trip that I did, where we went from Omeo over to Corryong and that sort of thing. We couldn't go through sort of out through Benambra that way. That road was all closed off, so we couldn't go that way. So we had to take the Omeo Highway down through Midamidra and that's a beautiful drive too. So no, I haven't been that far out just yet, mate. But I'd be certainly pretty keen, but to get out there. But as I say, if you're going to go to Limestone, you've got to take into account. If you're only going out there, that's all fine. To Native Dog Flat for camping over Queen's birthday, that's all fine. But you can't go up and do Davies Plain because, as I mentioned earlier on, that is now effectively a closed track until November 30. So take all those into account. And there we've got Diesel Dave. What's going on there, mate? You're expecting Rockout Highway? Was that highways when we allowed to hit the roads again after COVID? I reckon, mate. I reckon they'll be chock-a-block, but there's a lot of people, mate, red hot keen to get out there, as I am, and sure you are, and everyone else that's on here too, mate. I reckon they'll be pretty busy. There's no doubt about that. So when that time comes, we're all going to be extremely patient again, as we all have been over this time of lockdown. But when that time comes where we're going to be able to get out and about and and do a little bit, we're going to have to be extremely patient on the roads because I'm tipping, mate, they'll be fairly full on. Trying to get everyone get away to grab some time by a river or whatever else in the high country, before the tracks actually close up. So that's what my sort of tip is. Here, what's going on there, mate? If it's not seasonally closed, it's fire. Yeah, well, fires and COVID. That's true, mate. Look, the old Vic High Country's been hit really hard since about November last year. Where the fires all started. A lot of the high country's been shut then, and then we sort of got about they sort of started to wind up the fires sort of February, sort of late February sort of thing, and a few tracks started to open up, and then we got smashed by COVID. So it's been a bad year for everyone to try and get away, but hopefully here, mate, we can we can get out and all start enjoying what we like to go and do, kick back by a river and have a few beers around a campfire. So Greg, mate, Greg from Newcastle, thanks very much, mate. That's awesome, dropping in from down there, down the dark side of the force. That's great, mate. So yes, that's about where we are. So Hugh, what's going on there? We've had a run of bad luck for 2.5 years. Well, yeah, it's been pretty hard. But even at the moment, with even some of the snow that's been going on, just last weekend, it snowed down to sort of 800-900 there last weekend. There's a stack of that lying around too. So, but a lot of it will probably gone, in the next few weeks unless we get some backup snowfalls. But hopefully, we might get some backup snowfalls, and there will be some good snow lying around for that Queen's birthday weekend, provided we can all get out and go and enjoy it. That'll be fantastic if we can. What's going on here, mate? Cruising, what's going on here? Have you ever been to Haunted Stream Track? And do you, oh, mate, I've got a bad history with Haunted Stream Track. I did that last year with a mate of mine. It's the one and only time I've ever done Haunted Stream Track. We came in from the top side, so we're heading out towards the main road, and we were three crossings in. I was going through some pretty deep ruts, and someone who ever been, through these ruts prior to us, put logs and sticks and whatever else to obviously get some clearance for their vehicles to get through. Well, I've gone through these ruts and all covered with water, couldn't see these logs and that. Anyway, a log inside one of these ruts has come up and pierced, penetrated and smashed my slave cylinder on my clutch. So now I am about 33 crossings from the main road and no clutch. So this was a pretty interesting little exercise to get her out. So lucky I was with a mate of mine. We managed to get it started, key started it while still in gear, in low range second gear. He went ahead of me to make sure there was no other vehicles coming towards me, or if they were, they gave him plenty of notice to get off the track. But I drove the last 33 crossings, second gear, low range, no brakes, all the way out to the main road. It was a mission, I got to tell you. And then when I got to the main road, then I had to just jump on the brakes and stall it. And a mate of mine, he didn't live too far away. He's sort of about 3/4 an hour away from where we come back out on the main road. And then I managed to slip her into high range and key started it again in second gear, high range, and drove it and managed to somehow get it into third gear. One of these trucky changes, I managed to get into third gear and then drove all the way back to his place with, again, no clutch, no brakes. It was a very, very interesting day out. So that's my time of Horn Stream, mate. So, yeah, probably got a score to settle with Horn Stream. I need to go back there at some stage. But it was closed there for a while too because it was fairly chopped up and damaged. So I'm not sure, how that's one sort of going there with Horn Stream. But look, it's not a difficult track, that's for sure. It's pretty flat. There's a stack of crossings in and out. But it's only if they get chopped up, that would be your main challenge. But the track itself is, it's pretty easy going. So that's my take on Horn Stream, mate. Jared, what's going on there, mate? You're planning a trip from Jamison to Jindabyne in July, August, if I can. Any advice? Jamison to Jindabyne. Geez, you might have some issues there as far as track closures. I suppose depends, mate, on where you're thinking about going. Jamison to Jindabyne, there'll be a lot of track closures is going to be probably one of your biggest issues there, mate, on where you're going to get across. During a normal time of year, you could do that, no worries. That'd be a cracking trip from Jamo out through sort of Walhalla and into Lacola, Dargo, and then out to Omeo, and then up through that way. Over Davies Plain down into Tom Grogan, that sort of stuff. That'd be an absolute cracking trip on a good time of year when tracks are all open. But that time of year, you might be pushing, mate. So might just have a look at some maps, but you might have to do a few main roads to get yourself through there, I reckon. Simo, what's the go with wild dogs? I've heard a few stories about them. Never encountered wild dogs in the high country. Look, I'm a bit the same, mate. Look, I've never ever had a bad experience with wild dogs in the high country. I've just come across the odd one, that running down a track in front of you, but they dart off pretty quickly. I've certainly heard them plenty of times. There's no doubt about that, but I've never ever had a bad experience with wild dogs. I certainly hear a few stories with deer shooters and that sort of thing. They might experience a few because of what they do with deer and stuff like that. But mate, I've never had a bad time with them. But I've certainly had some hair-raising moments, where I've heard them certainly close by. There's no doubt about that. But, we'll just have to see what happens to that one. But at the moment, so far, all good with wild dogs in the Vic High Country as far as the problem I've been having with them. Brad, what's going on there, mate? Hopefully the small business are still opening after loss of tourism. Yeah, look, mate, small business, particularly where I ran lots of areas, New South Wales, Queensland and South Australia and Victoria, all been smashed, mate, big time with bushfires over that time of about 4 months. And, where I went with my road trip, we support a lot of towns there to, help put some dollars back in those cash registers. But, all those towns now are complete 100% shutdown. And who knows, when they're going to be able to open again, as far as pubs and, restaurants and that sort of stuff, when they're going to be open again, we don't know. So, those towns have been hit really hard. So, we're just going to have to try and support those towns wherever we can, when we can finally, get back into some of these places. Vincent, how you going there, mate? There's a big dump of snow from Buffalo last week. Well, yeah, I'm sure Buffalo had plenty, mate. And same with Falls Creek and Hotham. They all had truckloads, I think. Hotham had something like about 900 metres of, or 900 mil of natural snowfall. I know Mount Buller had about 500-600 of natural snowfall over the weekend, and that's pretty crazy numbers, for this time of year. But then, May's such a hit and miss time of year. You just never know what's going to throw at you, May. It can be sunshine one day, it can be pouring rain and snow on the next. So, you need to be very careful when you do go out these times of year, and be careful of that snowfall when it certainly does happen. And it's certainly not uncommon for these times. Alex, what's going on there, mate? Last month, big tree down over the circuit road back Mount Sterling, just near the start of the walk to Mount Craig's Hut. Wonder if they've cleared it yet. Yeah, I'm not really sure, mate. I haven't been over that way for a little while there, Alex. But look, whenever you come across a big tree like that, if you can't clear it yourself, I've always made the phone call to the Parks Ranger office in that area, certainly whenever you can, like be the Monday or whatever, after you come out for the weekend. Always give them a call and just let them know. And they're always very appreciative of that sort of information to hear of big trees that have come down, because they'll send out, if they've got to get a dozer or machinery or whatever out there, to go and clear them. So it's certainly a good thing, like that Mansfield one out around there, to give the guys a call there, and you can certainly give them a ring and just ask them, if they've cleared it. But fair chance, Circuit Road's a pretty popular road at best of times, but be pretty quiet at the moment with everything that's going on. But, hopefully it's all been cleared up. That's for sure. What else going on there? Diesel Dave, would you ever run ATs instead of MTs, mud tyres? Look, I have, mate. It all depends on, what you're doing. I've run the aggressive all-terrains before I've run the MTRs, which is what I've got on now, the full mud terrain tyres. It just depends on your style of full driving and, how often you get out full driving, how often you're off-road and in between on-road. Now, the mud tyre is not really ideal as far as a daily driver tyre goes. And look, my Patrol's a daily driver too, but it's probably more off-road than what it is on-road during normal times. So that's why the full mud terrain tyre sort of suits me. But look, if you're not getting away a great deal, you're going to get a lot better mileage out of say an all-terrain or aggressive all-terrain than what you're ever going to get out of a full mud tyre if it's spending a lot of time on the bitumen. So you really just got to sort out, see what sort of driving you think you're going to go and do during that time of year. If you're going to do a lot over winter, well, you might think about the mud terrain or aggressive all-terrain for one of those options. That's for sure. Jason, what's going on there, mate? Tracks into Lovick's Hut and Bluff Hut open via Harker Gap and Brox Road. At the moment, as far as I know, that's all open now, all the way through. Through from Lovick's all the way through to Howard High Plain. That was certainly shut there over the bushfire time. But it would potentially be open at the moment. But having said that, there's a fair chance that area, going by the snowfall that fell, last weekend up around Lovick's, and that's all around Mount Buller, that area there would be fairly well covered. So who knows? If you're looking to, get away over Queen's Birthday weekend, you're a bit unsure. If there's nothing on, the Parks website, they're generally pretty up to date. Particularly that area there, around that Mansfield area. Just give the guys there a call, the Parks office a call at Mansfield, and just have a quick yarn with them and just ask them that very question, and they'll certainly give you every updated information you need to know, about getting through Harker Gap Track and Brox Road. Wilbur, how you going, mate? Thanks very much for dropping in. Greg, what's going on there, mate? Are you ever going to do drone footage? Now, that's a very, very interesting question. Now, mate, I've owned a drone before. I had a drone. I bought a brand new drone. I had a Phantom 4 Pro up until probably about 12 months ago. But the big issues with drones, in a nutshell, you're not meant to fly one in National Park, and that's it flat out. Now, I know, you can get on YouTube and you can look at all these, videos that have been shot through the high country or wherever in national parks, and there's plenty of them. Don't worry about that. But technically, you are not allowed to fly a drone in a national park. They come under the same classification as a helicopter. And helicopters are not allowed to touch the ground in national park, and drones are exactly the same. And well, look, it's a really contentious issue, this one. And you've got CASA on one side that that says you can, but then you talk to Parks Victoria or Parks, wherever the managing parks is, and they say you can't. Now, I've been involved in a few filming permits over the time, where we've had to get filming permits, to do filming for whatever we've been doing in the national parks. And tell you what, the second you tick that box that you're going to use a drone, I'll tell you what, there's a whole list of extra paperwork comes out of it, mate, on requirements and where you're going to fly it, how often you're going to fly it, and the safety and that sort of stuff. But I sort of get it too with Parks Vic, well, not so much Parks Vic, but just national parks full stop, as to why big issues are with drones. And it's mainly birds of prey is the big one. Because if you've got eagles and and hawks and kestrels and those sort of things, in nesting, particularly nesting times, they will feed in. If there's a drone buzzing around their nest when they're nesting, they'll have a crack at it big time, and that's the last thing they probably want, because the bird's only going to get potentially cut up by props and that sort of thing. So drones are a big one. So I end up selling mine, because I did a trip around Tasmania about 2 years ago, 18 months ago, and I took the drone over there with me too, because that was the first time I was going to use it in Tassie. But every single national park I went into in Tassie, there was a big emblem there, a big round circle with a slash and a drone picture in the middle of it. No drones, full stop. So I thought, this is no good at all. So I ended up coming back and I sold the drone after that. So I get a bit of my aerial stuff now. You might seen some of my high stuff. So I've now got a 8 metre telescopic carbon fibre window washing pole. So I can extend that all the way up, 8 metres, and I put my GoPro right up the top up there, and I've got my phone down here with a little app on it, and I can see what's going on up there, and I can get some bit of aerial stuff that way. So any elevated stuff you see through my videos now, that's how I'm doing it. There's no drones absolutely involved, unless it's in state parks. So state parks, no worries, but it's just national parks is a big issue when it comes to flying drones, mate. So that's why I don't have one. So that touches on that one. Doug, Blazade is going to need more help after this. I helped out in Bruthen after seeing your post. That's good, mate. Look, bro, the Blazade there's a amazing organisation with what they do with helping farmers and that sort of stuff get in their farm fences and that sort of stuff back up and running again. I did a couple of days down there at Blazade, down at Bruthen there, same where you went. That was very early on in the piece. It was sort of late February, not long after the fires we were down there. So yeah, they're going to certainly need a stack of help. They would have been hit pretty hard with COVID, with what's going on at the moment. So yeah, Blazade, mate, they're certainly going to need a bit of help later down the track. What else we got going on there? Jason, should you do a big group camp at one of the flats up near Sheepyard Flat once this is all over? All chip in for a barbecue and have a big bonnie, mate. Look, that sounds like an absolutely cracking idea. I'm sure there's going to be probably a few people or a few groups who will be pretty keen to maybe just go out and not even do any tracks. It'd be just great just to go and kick back and hang out with your mates and and have a few beers and get fire going and sit back and talk about what we've just experienced over the last sort of 2 or 3 months. So that's probably a good idea, mate. And Sheepyard Flat's probably a good place to do it. Big open area there, right on the Harker River. It's a cracking spot. I love Sheepyard on an off weekend. So that's probably a good idea to go down there, mate. That's for sure. Daniel, what's going on there, mate? Just picked up a D22. Any tips on? Well, funny you should mention that about D22s, mate, because I tell you what, I had 2 of them before I bought the Patrol. Both of mine were the 3 litre ones. So from 2003, I had a brand new one there. From there to 06, and then it was so good, I was so happy. I just bought another one. So I'm not sure whether you got the 3 litre or the 2.5 litre diesel, but mate, my D22s, they went sort of everywhere, pretty much where my Patrol goes. But the thing is, with my Patrol, it just does it so much easier and it's a lot more comfortable. But so that's probably about the only thing. But just set them up in the back. Whatever you're going to do there, where you're going to put a canopy or a box or something on the back of it. It's certainly handy there for carrying all your gear. So yeah, that's pretty much about as far as what goes with the D22, mate. But yeah, mine were absolutely fantastic. I loved them. Outback Images, how you going, mate? All the way from Northern Territory, mate. Thanks very much. That's awesome. Being way up there, that's bloody wicked, mate. Top stuff. Do you host anything? What's going on there? Do you host anything? Love the content? Well, yeah. Look, I'm be pretty open to hosting whatever it is you got in mind there. Just give us send us an email or a chat there, whether it be full drive clubs or that sort of stuff. Always pretty keen to go and chat with them. So yeah, pretty keen to maybe hear what you got going on there. I mean, the way I like trips and stuff, yeah. Look, well, as far as trips and that go, I used to be a licensed tour operator, but I got out of that. I just found it too restricting. So it's really hard nowadays, unless you're either a licensed operator or, you got all the insurance and that sort of stuff. It is really hard to take people away. So yeah, that's sort of a tough one, mate. I know it's not ideal, but it's just sort of how it is at the moment. But so that's sort of about where I am with that. Damien, how much did your custom seat covers cost? Well, they're one of my sponsors, mate. So I support Got Your Covered seat covers, absolutely fantastic covers. And so I support them 100%. But, if you want to go and have a chat with them, well, certainly have a chat, because they are absolutely fantastic seat covers, that's for sure. So I think we're getting pretty close to the end of it here. Well, there's still a heap of questions coming through. David 200, love the YouTube channel. Keep up the great work, mate. Yeah, thanks very much for that feedback there, mate. Plenty going on at the moment as far as videos and things. I'm just doing a lot of backyard cook-ups at the moment, because we can't get out and do a great deal as far as out in the bush goes. So still getting the old camp oven, still getting plenty of use. I'm not using the oven inside a great deal. It's all happening right out here in the backyard at the moment. So yes, that's about all that's going on there. Greg, what's going on there, mate? We're going to Granny's Flat. When it's all over? Well, yeah, again, Granny's Flat will be one of those areas that will be seasonally closed after Queen's birthday weekend. So take that into account. But Granny's a great spot there. There's lots you can go and do there up through Slate Mine and those sort of things from Granny's. Ripper spot there on the river. What else got on there? Leanne, what's going on? Can you cook up a pork with crackling? Well, I haven't tried a roast pork with crackling. I've had a couple of pretty good attempts in the oven at home, so there might be a challenge. I might have to have a crack at trying to do one in the camp oven and see how we go with that one, and try and get some decent crackling out of it. But at the moment, no, I've not done one in the camp oven just as yet. Diesel Dave, you up for a few beers one day in Dargo? Well, mate, I'm going to be pretty keen to get back to Dargo, as I'm sure a lot of us are, but not sure when that's going to happen just yet. But I'll be pretty keen to go back there for a few Barney bananas. Now, if you're not sure what the Barney banana is, well, they are pretty good. I had a couple of those with Hawley last time I was there, and yeah, they're pretty wicked little drop. So tune in for those Barney bananas. Highly recommend it if you're going to go down to Dargo pub when we can finally all go there. So there we go. What else we got going on there, Brad? Will we see you Basie's High Country cookbook? Not sure if I'm planning any sort of a cookbook at the moment, mate, but doing a few videos, that's for sure, with the camp oven and campfire in the backyard here. But I'm not sure of any cookbook at the moment. But look, who knows down the track? You just never know. Never know what's going to come up. Hugh, do you do some slow cook up ribs? I've never tried ribs, mate. So I did a slow cook up there with my roast lamb there the other week, and fair nick, and that was absolutely cracking the way that turned out. I did that over 3 hours. Absolutely sensational that was. So yeah, some ribs, that might be a good one, mate. Try out some pork ribs or whatever else is going on there in the old camp oven, because they're tasty at the best of times, and even in slow cook up, that'd be pretty awesome. So we'll see how we go with those. Jaden, thanks for answering all my questions. No worries, mate. Still haven't managed to catch up, but that's all good, mate. I'm sure we'll see you somewhere. Maybe what's that? Wavendale on the Monash. Well, I haven't been down the Monash for a while, but I'm sure I'll be heading back into that down that way at some stage down the track. But if I don't see you on the Monash, mate, hopefully we might catch you out in the High Country. That'd be even better. So I'll see how that all pans out, mate. What's going there, Jared? Time to get away, mate. Have you ever been to Chestnut and Whitfield? I've been down through there. Paradise Falls is certainly well worth going to check out while you're down to that Chestnut and Whitfield area. Some really nice spots down there on the King River too. Nice little town there, the Chestnut and Whitfield. It's really nice down in there. But make sure you go and check out Paradise Falls, when we can again, because they would be absolutely cranking. You'd be getting 2 falls. It'd be pretty full on there at the moment at Paradise. So put that in and go and check them out for sure. Greg, what's going on, mate? Anyone got a real full drive Land Rover? Well, I'm not sure about that. That's something you might have to ask those guys, mate, because I certainly don't have one because I've got a GU Patrol sitting out in my shed. So I don't have one, mate. What's going on there? Future Grey Mates. Got to love Barney Bananas. I know. How good are they, mate? That was the first time I'd ever had them. And I tell you what, after having a few down there at Dargo with Hawley, they were feeding and they were pretty good. So I'll be booking in for a few. I've been making sure Hawley's going to have a good supply of Barney Bananas and all the mixture that goes in it when we can finally get back down there. So, Matt, Georgia, look, what's going on there, mate? Looks like yours is but dark but blue. Well, it kind of is. Mine's a bit dark blue, but it still goes pretty good there, mate. Lee, what's going on there, mate? The lamb shanks. Now, I've done a few lamb shanks in my time. There's no doubt about that, whether it be in the oven or in camp oven, and they always turn out a cracking thing too. And slow cooking with the lamb shanks, they're pretty really good. So, always cover them with garlic and onion, whatever else. And I don't know, when you're watching my videos, you'll get it soon, get the drift of it. I'm pretty keen on garlic. I just love it. So I'll definitely put a bit of garlic on the old lamb shanks because they go really well. So Greg, double lockers, yeah, mate. I've got double front rears in my patrol, mate, and feeding them. I love them. I don't use the fronts all the time, but pretty much use the rears pretty much most of the time whenever I engage full drive. Pretty much the rear button goes in. I'm not sure if any of you guys have driven a GU, particularly when you take the LSD out of it. I tell you what, they're not much good, and unless you've got a rear locker in it, they come to a pretty screaming halt pretty quickly. So the rear goes in pretty much most of the time, and then I just engage the front whenever I need to. To get twin lockers, yeah, look, mate, they are good. There's no doubt about that. It's they certainly change the way you drive, but I tell you, you can get in a lot of trouble. With lockers, you can get a lot of trouble without them too. But I tell you what, they can get you in a lot of trouble if you're not really familiar on how they work and how to use them. So, good idea to practice playing around with lockers if you're going to start getting into them. Jared's going there, mate. Been there myself to Paradise Falls. Yeah, it is pretty good, isn't it? It's a fair walk down. There's no doubt about that, but it is a cracking walk. It's well worth it. Going down's all right. It's a bit steep coming back out again. But if Paradise Falls are on song with plenty of water going over them, you get 2 falls going over them side by side. It is a ripper sight. So put that in your thing there to go and check out Paradise Falls when the time comes and do that walk. Do yourself a favour. It's certainly well worth it. What's going on there now? What else going on there? Greg, Matt, you put it into yours, yeah, e-lockers. Well, e-lockers, I wouldn't mind a set of those too. I reckon they're not a bad little setup too. The older e-lockers, I've still got their air lockers front and rear in mine, and yeah, look, I've certainly had some dramas with them, but they keep working, and so at the moment they're going all right. So we'll leave them in there for the moment. Alex, what's going on there, mate? What's the best way up to Bluff with a Subaru Outback? Up to the Bluff with a Subaru Outback, if possible. If you're talking about Bluff Hut and that sort of stuff, the biggest issue you're probably going to have there, mate, will be ground clearance. Depending on what the track's like at the moment, which I haven't been up, through Bluff Hut and Lovex and that sort of stuff for a little while. So that'll be your one of your big issues will be ground clearance, getting across any of the washouts and that sort of stuff. I don't got no idea what the track is like. I know it was maintained and very well maintained pretty much from the start of Bluff Track all the way through to well past Lovex and past Picture Point. It was dozed there about 15, 18 months ago. But yeah, that can change very, very quickly with rain and weather and full drive going over. So I really don't know what the track's like at the moment, but you'd need to be very careful, particularly in the washouts. That's going to be your main thing getting up there. And then unless you've got low range too, there'd be no go zone, I reckon, because once you get past that gate, the seasonal closure gate, it's pretty steepish going up through there. And so your low range would be an absolute must if you're going to venture into the Bluff, that's for sure. So yeah, Paradise Falls. Leanne, what's going on there? Paradise Falls is now on my bucket list. Well, I highly recommend it. I've got a video there on my YouTube channel where I went up through, started at Bonnie Doon there, and then went out through Mansfield, Powers Lookout, Paradise Falls, and up to Lake Cobbler. That was a cracking trip too. Nice, easy trip, but geez, it covers some stunning country. And Paradise Falls was on that list too. But yeah, and I had the twin falls going there at the same time. Absolutely fantastic site. So definitely, if you haven't been in Paradise Falls, it's an absolute must. Go and check it out, and particularly over winter when it's going to be absolutely cranking, because the two falls just stunning, absolutely stunning to see. Doug, what's going on there, mate? What do you reckon is the most overlooked part of the Victorian High Country? Well, you know, one of the most overrated mountains, and I've said this for a while, and there's not much in the way of full driving and that goes, but one of the most overrated mountains, I reckon, in the Victorian High Country is Mount Buffalo. Again, as I say, not much full driving there, some magnificent walks and stuff, but the waterfalls and that sort of stuff, particularly over winter, you know, it's some of the best waterfalls you're going to see, I reckon, anywhere in Australia. They are just fantastic. Go and look at the views from up the top up there, from, you know, we get up the chalet. Absolutely stunning views, you know, looking down over the valley towards Port Punker and back into Bright and that sort of stuff. And then if you want to go even further over the top, past Dingo Dell, and then climb some of the mountains out there, you know, absolutely stunning. But I've said that for a while. I reckon Mount Buffalo is fair dinkum one of the most underrated mountains in the whole of Victorian High Country. So that sort of covers that one. Jared was going there. Amazing when there's water flow down those mountains. Yeah, look, Mount Buffalo, we were up there with What's Up Down Under there about 4 weeks ago, and the amazing amount of rain that we had, they got something like about 100 odd mil overnight, and the waterfalls coming off Mount Buffalo were absolutely some of the best I've ever seen anywhere. You know, even just roadside waterfalls, it was gushing across the road. Absolutely stunning sight. So well worth checking out Mount Buffalo over those times. But the waterfalls are there all year round, so you know you can go and check them out. But absolutely magnificent. So Mount Buffalo, yeah, check that out for sure. Overlooked north of Omeo, Benambra and Snowy Mountains, Pinnabar, because the area is pretty. Yeah, look, I wouldn't mind doing all that sort of area. Although I've been from Benambra and that sort of stuff over Pinnabar, and Pinnabar is certainly on one of my bucket lists to get back there again. Matt, there's no worries about that, but probably going to have to wait a little bit longer. Might have to be next year before we can get back over to those areas again. Wilbur, are you still running stock Nissan Snorkel on your patrol? Yeah, I am, mate. I've never had a problem with it. It's never leaked any water. I've never had a problem with, you know, I've done a truckload of river crossings in my patrol from day one, and that Snorkel's been on there since I bought it back in 2009, which I'm about to do an updated video on my patrol. But yeah, mate, so that's where I'm at with my Snorkel, mate. I've never had a problem with it. But, you know, just got to see how you go with it. But, yeah. Mine's been good. No worries at all. Let's go in there, Jaden. Tough times for everyone. Can you get us any discount gear through your sponsors? Well, look, send me an email, mate. Let me know what you're after, because I tell you what, there's some deals that are going on at the moment. So send me an email or a Facebook message or whatever. Contact me, whatever you're after there, mate, and I'll certainly see what I can do there for you. Absolutely. They'll be pretty keen to have a chat with you if you're after some gear. There's no worries about that. Brad, we're going to Bonnie Doon. Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I wish I was going to Bonnie Doon too, mate. The old castle that was on the TV just the other night. How good's that classic movie? I tell you, it's one of the best Aussie movies there is going around. The old castle is just so Aussie, it's fantastic. Jared was going there, mate. If your motor blew up, would you rebuild it, or would you do an engine conversion to? Well, I can't do a 2D42 because of the age of mine. Apparently, I've been told, because mine's a 2009 model, you can't go back in to a TD42 because they finished up in 2006. And to be really honest, I've had this discussion before and I've done a bit of video on it. I think I'll just stick with the mighty 3 litre. Now, I know that's going to shock a lot of people, but my motor has been feeding them fantastic. And I've been driving 3 litre motors. I know they're a little bit different, but I've been driving 3 litres since 2003 with the Navaras right through to where I'm driving now. And my motor's been absolutely great. So, and the reason why I'd probably stick with the 3 litre motor, end of the day, you know, it's a motor that's designed for that car. The engine mounts are all there. Everything bolts straight up. The gearbox, all the gear ratios are all suited to that motor. So, you know, I would probably just, if the motor did eventually blow up, which I don't sort of like to talk about that too much because that's when you put the moz on things. You know, the engine conversions there, it's a big job, big cost. But, you know, but each their own. You know, a lot of people are doing it. There's some V8s certainly pumping around there, notes coming out the back of patrols and whatever else. But, yeah, big cost and, you know, I don't know. So, for me, I think I'll just stick with the 3 litre and because I've had such a good run with mine, I'll just keep it, I reckon. So, it's been fantastic. So, what else we got going on there? Craig T Adventures. How you going, mate? Where do you recommend a good beginner's track for a stock standard four-wheel drive in the high country? Well, an area, look, I get asked this one quite a fair bit for beginners where they want to go. And you can't go past that Mansfield area, feeding them to take entry-level full drives out through there. So Mansfield, Carter's Road, you know, Mount Number 3, beautiful scenic drive. They're going to get a bit of experience there with a bit of rocky stuff. It's not overly steep, beautiful scenic. Check out a couple of huts. You got Number 3 track and Tomahawk Hut, and you can check out Tomahawk Hut too. That's another good one. But you got Razorback there at the end of Number 3, and then down Circuit Road, and then down King Basin, and along that King River track. That's a beautiful scenic drive there. You know, do through the King River, provided it's not cranking. As long as the river's not too high and you get through there easy, like it's a good summer drive. So that's a really good drive there, and then up to King Hut. Circuit Road or backup Speculation, Circuit Road, then either take Monument Track and then up to Craig's. That's a really top loop, for entry-level drivers. Get a good experience, get a good feel of what they can and can't do in their full drive and see what low range feels like and in some really safe, conditions. So that's sort of my tip is out through that Mansfield area, mate, if you've got some beginners that want to go and have a bit of an explore. Mount Wellington track is a good beginner track. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Look, even up through there, out through Lacola and that sort of stuff, there's some good tracks out through there. But you just, particularly when you start to talk Lacola and that sort of area, you do need to know a little bit about where you're going to because there's some steep, nasty stuff out there too. So need to be a little bit careful. Leanne, what's going on there? Admittedly, got to go back to Snow Goose. Well, I'm going to be pretty keen to get back to Snow Goose. Because when we went there for our road trip that we finished up about a month ago, we spent a couple of days in Admittedly. I tell you what, it's a mouthful, I tell you. Don't say it too fast. It took me a little while even to learn how to pronounce it. But Admittedly is a cracking town. It's at high elevation, gets snow over winter, but the pub there is feeding an absolute ripper. And over Cup Weekend, apparently they have a big thing going over there for Melbourne Cup Weekend where they get some auctioneer comes up from, I think they said come up from Mansfield, and they auction off the horses and that sort of stuff. Apparently it's a big day out. So depends how we go for later in the year with travel and that sort of thing. But getting back to Snow Goose for Cup Weekend could well and truly be on the cards because it sounded like a cracking weekend. But we had a great time there with the owners and the staff there, and 2 nights there at Admittedly pub. Fantastic. So put that one in your books to go and check out that pub too because it's an absolute cracker. Jaden, Running Creek, have you been there? Absolutely cracking place. Yeah, look, I have been to Running Creek, mate. It's a ripper spot there just out of Jammo. Great spot there on the river, and there's some good tracks. You can base camp out of there, right on the Harker River. But there's some good tracks that you can certainly do from Egg up, Slate Mine, and those sort of things, and down in the Mitchell's camp area from Running Creek. Ripper spot there. Camped there a few times. Haven't been there just of late, but yeah, great spot though. Really nice spot there, mate. That's for sure. What's going on? Any chance, Craig? Hello, mate. Any chance of some scones Legal Lamb. Jeez, mate. Good to hear from you, mate. I hope things going right down there in Mansfield area. But yeah, we might do. I might have another crack at some scones next time. Maybe when I go out in the bush next time. But so many people have suggested throwing lemonade in the scones. Now, I didn't put any lemonade in my scones because apparently it's supposed to make them go fluffy and that sort of stuff. I didn't do any lemonade, but I'm pretty keen to have a crack at them next time round. I might put some lemonade in it. So we might book in for some scones, mate, and Legal Lamb. We'll have another crack at that because, yeah, go all right with the Legal Lamb, mate. They do all right. No Tom Cruises even invited. We'll see how we go with that one. Hey, Phil, what's going on there, mate? Best pies in Victorian High Country. Geez, mate, that's a massive call because I tell you what, I've had a few. God, just off the top of my head, the Mansfield Bakery, that's a cracking spot there for a good pie. The Omeo Bakery, that's well up there too. They have some ripper pies there in Omeo. Look, there's just so many of them. Hard to really nail down an absolute cracker, but I tell you what, getting back to that chess hunt before, and down Whitfield, there's a little cafe there at Whitfield. I stopped in there about 12, 18 months ago, just opposite the pub, and I tell you what, they had an absolute ripper pie in there. Not sure if it's the same people or not, but tell you what, the pie that came out of there was fantastic. They were pretty good. And then one where we another good one too was down at Nicholson, where we went with What's Up a few months ago. The bakery there, or general store there, fair dinkum, if you're down at Nico, which is down past Bairnsdales, if you're heading towards Bruthen, that sort of thing, or Lakes Entrance and that, fair dinkum, drop into that Nico general store there and check out the pies from there. They're monster pies, but they're absolutely fantastic. So Nico, yeah, check them out as well. So there's plenty of pie shops getting around, mate, but to nail the best one down, it'd be good to do a tour, actually, with a few pie shops and check out some of the bakeries, because there's some good ones around. There's no doubt about that. Even actually, where was that one we went to on the road trip? That road trip one was where was that? Can't remember what it was now. But we had quite a few. So yeah, too many to sort of mention, but they've been pretty good. What's going on there, Craig? Been into Runnings Creek. I took my VT Commodore down there. Geez, I tell you what, you want to be dry if you're going to get down there in a VT Commodore. Even getting that back out of there would be a bit of a mission, I reckon. But it is pretty easy to get into Running Creek. Just might be a little bit greasy if it was wet, but yeah, you do get the odd two-wheel driver getting down in Running Creek. Really nice spot though, that's for sure. Who else we got going on here? What's going on there, mate? Lemonade scones are dead set simple. Well, the mix I made was dead set simple too. I couldn't made it probably any easier, but geez, they turned out really, really well. I was pretty happy with them. But next time I might just put a bit of a can of lemonade in, maybe the next batch, and see how that one goes, because they were pretty good. Jam and cream chucked on the top at the end of them. It's the first time I've ever made scones, so they were pretty all right. I'm very happy with them. So I'll have another crack for sure. Cody M. Dave, love your work. Cheers, mate. Thanks for dropping in. Matt's going on there. Any running? Are you running a chainsaw? I bought a Ryobi from Bunnings, 4 years and starts perfect every time. Yeah, look, I run a chain. I've certainly got a chainsaw. I wouldn't go in high country, wouldn't go anywhere without tape, without a chainsaw. But mine's an old Husqvarna. Now, my old chainsaw would be best part of close on 30, if not a bit over. And without a word of a lie, this chainsaw has never been serviced, and it still holds the original spark plug, and it starts every single time. Pull the choke out, couple of tugs on the cord, and feeding them, this fires every single time. It's an absolute cracker. So, some people have said, you should give it a service. Well, if it ain't broken, I'm not going to try and fix it. So, but it's a cracker, my old Husky. But battery chainsaws, they seem to be all the go at the moment. So many people get into them. So it might be the new technology, but we'll see what happens with battery chainsaws down the track. So that's about it as far as chainsaws go. Jared, what's going on there? Any river crossings here? That's all sort of all covered, that one. Should you do a Tim Bates pie road bash? Well, just talking about that one, mate. We that could be on the cards, that's for sure. Because I reckon I could map out a pretty good a pie shop circuit, because I've had a go at a few of them around the high country, and even some interstaters. There's some good ones around. But yeah, that might be on the cards down the track for sure. Might add a bit of pie shop tour. Watching from Beechworth. That's good, Darian, mate. Thanks very much there for dropping in. Love the adventures. Thanks very much, mate. Glad you dropped in, mate. That's pretty good. Appreciate all that. Derek, is it safe to do solo camps in an off-road camper trail in Victorian High Country? Well, I suppose it really depends on your knowledge of where you're going to go, particularly with a camp trailer on it, because you wouldn't want to be just driving down a track blindly and not knowing where that track is or where it goes, because you might end up coming across either a tree down or it comes too steep or impassable, and you've got to somehow turn a camper trailer around. Sometimes some of these tracks in the High Country, they're hard enough just turning a full drive around, let alone turn a camper trailer around. So really do some serious homework if you're planning on pulling a camper trailer of any sort into the Vic High Country. There are certainly a number of places where you can get, you can base camp up and, with some good river access, and then, set the camper trailer up and then just do your day trips in and out. But if you've got an area in mind, mate, certainly give us a yell, and might be able to give you, a few pointers on, the area you may be thinking about going into with a camp trailer. But you'd certainly want to do a lot of homework, that's for sure, if you're going in an area where you don't know where you're going. So that's certainly my tip there, mate, as far as camp trailers. So Derek, give us a yell for sure, mate. Craig, what's going there, mate? Book about the High Country. There's a ripper by Graham Stoney called Harker Hill Story. Well, I haven't seen that one, mate. It's just been launched. Yeah, right, just been launched. That'd be absolutely a ripper read. It's Graham Stoney, been around for a long time, and that's their hut there. Stoney's are up there at Bluff Hut there. That's their hut up there. Been around that Mirrajig area there for many years, Cameron family. So yeah, that would be an absolutely interesting read, mate. If you could let me know where I might be able to get hold of one of those editions, I'd certainly like to have a read of that. That would certainly be a good read, that's for sure. Matt, yeah, I hear about electric chainsaws. Maybe got one like an 18-volter. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the electric ones are like at the moment. I don't know anyone that's got one, but you're certainly seeing plenty of advertising and videos going on with them. But yeah, it'd be interesting to know. That battery technology, look, it's come a long way, not just in chainsaws, just even battery tools over the years, and it's certainly going to be, maybe the way of the future with battery chainsaws. That's for sure. But it'd be interesting to try one out and just see what they're like. Let's go there, Della. How you going? Thanks very much there for dropping in. Appreciate that. Jared, have you heard of the old tip track up at Jamison? No. Don't really know about the old tip track up at Jamison, mate. So if you maybe give us some info on that, that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, no, not sure on that one. KM Dave, my wife highly rates your damper recipe. She'll be trying your scones out soon. Well, that's pretty good, mate. I'm glad the damper recipe has gone on pretty all right, mate, because that's a pretty good one. It's one I've been making pretty much the same for over 40 plus odd years, but I learned to make that one back in the old scouting days. So it still works today. So again, another one that's not broken, so I'm not going to try and fix it. It still works, so I'll keep making it. So try the scones out, mate, and see how you go with those. So Dean, what's going on there? Have you driven the Mount Sunday track near Lacola? That's one track. No, I haven't. It's pretty full on, I believe, and particularly over the snow season, there's a fair bit of snow gets up around there. So no, that's one I haven't done, mate. So I can't really give you a lot of feedback sort of on that one. What's going there, Dawn? Got the TD42. Love the High Country. Yeah, look, I love the High Country too, and I'm pretty keen to get out there and get that TD42 and get it all fired up. Hopefully shortly. We might get some good news next week. We'll have to just see how it all goes. Ross, what's going there, mate? You got a Stihl battery chainsaw, and they're brilliant. There you go. There's some feedback there on the battery chainsaws. Ross has got one, and he loves it. So there you go. It'd be interesting to try one out, that's for sure, because I've certainly never tried one, never even grabbed my hands on one. So see what happens about all that. Alex, what's the general ruling with road closures over winter? Are they all closed or just the High Country altitude stuff? Well, it's a hard one to sort of put that down to, but they're not all closed. You just really got to look up Parks Victoria website. You know, they've got everything listed there on what is and isn't closed. So yeah, they're not all shut, but there's a fair few of them are. You know, so you really just got to check on where you're planning to go during those times and see if they are open or not. But fair few, as far as roads go, they're sort of fairly, most of them are open, but a lot of tracks are going to get closed up in the next few weeks. But yeah, you just need to check, you know, as far as roads go and what's going to be open or not. Jimbo, what's going on, mate? Cast iron or spun steel camp ovens? Well, I've never tried a spun steel. I'd be interested to have a go at one of those. I've always had cast iron for years, mate. My cast iron camp oven would be the best part of, you know, probably 12, 15-year-old, if not longer. So, yeah, I've only ever used cast iron, but they're spun steel. Yeah, they'd be interesting to have a look at one of those, I reckon, and see what they're like. Matt's going there. We drove Billy Goat track before the restrictions have come in. Best I've seen. Heaps of independent. Oh, yeah, look, Billy Goats, I drove it when I made the video there, or was that a couple of months ago? And it's pretty full on. It's I'm not sure if it's been maintained at all since then. But yeah, Billy Goats is well up there at the moment, and interested to see what it's like after. Certainly been a stack of rain and stuff going on it since during we've been all locked out of it, but you know, there's been no traffic over it. But be interested to have another crack at Billy Goats when we can finally get up there. But it's a great drive as long as you're up for it and the vehicle's set up. It's a ripper drive, that's for sure. Greg, yeah, seen the battery chainsaws at Warrigal 4x4. Well, there you go. There's another one there about battery chainsaws. They're all starting to come out of the woodwork now, no pun intended. But yeah, it'd be interesting to have a look at the battery chainsaws and see what they're like. Darren, would be great to see some travels through Kiewa Valley. Yeah, some of the advice on, yeah, look, I've not been a lot up through Kiewa at all, mate. Haven't been a lot over that sort of side. So, yeah, would like to do a bit more, certainly over that side. A bit later in the track, down the track, and see how it all goes. Doug, yeah, came up Billy Goats in the stock Hilux, only just fixed up the lower control arms. Yeah, how are they now? How are your lower control arms now? Hopefully they're still in good nick after going up there, particularly in a stock Hilux. That's not a bad effort, but yeah, she's pretty full on old Billy Goats. The old chainsaw, the old battery ones, they're coming out of the woodwork now. 18 volts, AEG drills. Yeah, look, I've got the the Milwaukee battery drills, and my battery drills would be they're probably 10 years old easy, and again, I still use them today. The old 4 amp hour ones, and batteries have come a long way since then too. So they're still going strong, that's for sure. Phil, in your opinion, how long would you reckon it would? How long until we Vic High Country can go camping? Look, mate, I don't really know what's going to happen there. Hopefully we're going to get some news. I think it's either tomorrow or maybe Monday. I think the 11th, the government's going to maybe make some announcements on whether things are going to get relaxed or not. I know other states, WA and a few others are certainly got some camping and stuff going back on. I saw Graham there from Full Drive Action. He put a post up in WA there the other week. He's back out camping again. So, mate, look, I hope we can get back out and do a bit, in the next few weeks too, and particularly before Queen's birthday long weekend and get out. So we're just going to have to wait and see. We're just going to have to be all patient and just toe the line, and whatever the government's asking for, well, we're just going to have to go with it for the moment. So there you go. So what else going there, Jared? What snorkel would you run if the one I got now that broke? Well, I don't know. You see there's so many options now. Look, my snorkel's 11 years old. Technology's changed probably a lot, and there's so many different brands and options out there at the moment, whether you look at another plastic one or you go the stainless steel option. Not really sure, mate, which way I would certainly go there. I hope the one I've got doesn't break, but we'll just have to see what happens if and when that time comes around. But as I say, there's plenty of options there as far as snorkels go. That's for sure. Any tracks, full drive tracks in the Grampians. Now I haven't been in Grampians again for years, but I don't think there's a great deal of full driving and doing the Grampians. There's a stack of bushwalking and mountain biking and that sort of stuff. That's when I hiked over there many years ago too. But I don't think there's a great deal of full driving we've done in the Grampians. It's pretty much sort of walking and all that sort of stuff. It's going there, mate. Cruising with Borgie. First live stream on YouTube. You're killing it, basically. Awesome job. Yeah, thanks very much, mate. Greatly appreciate you dropping in there. And same with everyone else that's coming in. This is absolutely awesome. The amount of people that are dropping questions in here and having a chat. It's really good, especially during these times. And have a chat and let's talk about full driving and camping and everything else related to it. So yeah, appreciate that, mate. Gary Rogers, I ran a Zudo 18-volt, 24-volt chainsaw and works a treat on small, medium wood with a diameter of 8 inches. Well, there you go. Battery chainsaw feedbacks coming out thick and fast. So there's obviously a few people out there now making the change, or it's their first time they've had a chainsaw instead of the traditional petrol ones. Now there are a few people making the change to the battery. And look, I sort of get it, with battery ones, you don't have to carry fuel and all that sort of stuff around, and you still got to have the charging options. But so yes, we'll see where battery chainsaws go down the track, but I'm sure they're only going to get better and better as time goes forward. Toby, can you do a moderate full drive track with a stock Land Cruiser? Well, you certainly can, but you just got to know where that moderate full drive track is and what you're going to go and do and what that truck's going to be like. But you certainly can. Look, the stock stand Land Cruiser straight off the shelf, mate. They're capable of full drive, but it just depends on how far you're going to go and where you're talking about wanting to go. But as long as you've got some gear, a bit of experience, recovery gear, and you're not going to go alone, you're going to go with others. Well, you could certainly take a stock stand Land Cruiser on some tracks. And my hard tip would be just hope it hasn't got highway tyres or something like that on it. At least get rid of those and put some aftermarket, whether it be an all-terrain aggressive or something like that. But yeah, you certainly can, mate. But just really got to know where it is you really want to go. So if you've got some ideas in mind, shoot us some ideas. If you're looking for a place to go, we can certainly have a chat about that. Blunt object, what's going on that? What size deep cycle battery do you think is enough for a basic setup? Well, mine's 100 amp hour, and and I've always only had the 100 amp hours, and it's plenty. But only accessories I run off my second battery. I've got the fridge in the back there, which drawing power all the time, and then that's pretty much the only thing that draws power off mine. So it really depends on what your what sort of accessories you're running off it. I've got an inverter in there as well too, but that's not drawing power unless I've got it turned on or I've got a phone or camera battery that ever charged in. But apart from that, my fridge is the only thing that's running off my auxiliary battery all the time. So 100 amp hour works for me. But again, battery technology's changed big time too. Whether you look at even lithium now with batteries down the track for the amp average they're putting out compared to your lead acid batteries, it's staggering, and the weight difference it'll blow your mind if you haven't looked into lithium batteries. I know they're expensive, but geez, that's another one we're talking about. Battery technology changing with chainsaws. Car batteries are going to change big time too, getting on the track, because they are amazing, the lithium batteries. I've certainly had a bit of a look at those, and the stats and numbers they put out, it's mind-blowing. So have a look at those, that's for sure. Peter, what's going on there, mate? Where are you going to sell? When are you going to sell the Nissan to do some tough tracks? Oh, geez, mate, there's a challenge. Are we setting a challenge, mate? Well, I'm not going to sell the Almighty Patrol. It's going to be one of those things I think is going to stay with me forever. I just couldn't part with it because it's been such a great full drive, and it's so reliable and everything else. But what challenging tracks, mate, are we going to take on with the Land Cruiser? So I'd be pretty keen to know what Peter got in mind there. My thing's a pretty capable little jigger. So we'll see what goes on there. But at the moment, mate, the Almighty Patrol, it's not going anywhere. It's going to stay with me for quite some time, I think. So I'll see what happens with that. Connor, what's going on there, mate? How do you store your chainsaw so it doesn't smell fuel inside the car? Well, I keep it up on the roof rack, mate. I don't know if you've seen any of my videos, but there's a big box that sits up on my roof rack. So yeah, I've got a sort of a purpose-built box there, checker plate box, and my chainsaw fuel and oils and everything goes in there, mate. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. You know, it'd be nothing worse, you know, if your chainsaw's inside your car or your fuel bottle or whatever else, and yeah, it's leaking, the fumes would drive you nuts. So that's where mine goes, mate. It goes up on the roof, and then I certainly don't have that problem. What else we got going in there? Who else we got going? Yeah, Jim, that's good, mate. Glad you agree with the Nissans forever. Yeah, look, I'm Nissan thick and fast. I've been driving Nissans now since 1998, where I bought my first GU Patrol way back then, and then went right through the D22 Navara stage. So, yeah, had Nissans for a while and had a great run with them. So I'm not about to probably go changing anytime soon. But, hey, you never know what's going to be around the corner. That's all I'm going to say. Just leave your options open. See what goes on there. Matt, what's going on there? Does the crankcase, does nuts and Salisbury axles too? Yeah, Salisbury axles too. Yeah, righto. Maybe that's an answer there for someone else. What's going on? Daniel, what other YouTube channels do you watch? Well, I don't really watch many others, mate, because I spend too much time on my own. If I'm not loading videos, I'm looking at ways to make it better and that sort of thing. So I don't really, and that's fitting, I don't really spend a lot of time watching a great deal of other YouTube channels. There's a lot of them out there, a lot of creators out there making some magnificent content. But yeah, I just don't have a lot of time to be spending on watching a lot of other channels. So that's sort of pretty much where I'm at with mine, because I do spend a stack of time on mine. As I say, if I'm not posting videos, I'm looking at ways to make them better. So that's pretty much what I do. Noel, what's going on there, mate? Love your work, even when you're in the early days of Forward of Action. Do you hunt sambar deer? No, look, I don't, mate. And the old Forward of Action days, they were cracking days, mate. We had a ripper time with Graham and Jamie, and even the first year I did there with Ruthie back those years ago, and the whole Forward of Action crew, fantastic people. I'm still in touch with all those guys. Mainly catch up with them at the four drive shows and those sort of things, and it's always good to see them. But yeah, look, I'm not haven't been out hunting, mate. I certainly know plenty of people and plenty of mates that certainly get out there and with their stalkers or they've got dog crews, whatever. But yeah, I haven't been into it. But I've actually not really even tried deer a great deal, but wouldn't mind giving that a crack with the old venison. I've had a little bit of it, but it never turned out really well. But I think there's a bit of a trick to cooking venison, I think. So might have to have a crack at that again someday. A for alls, do I have a day job? Well, yeah, my day job is pretty much now what I do pretty much full time with my YouTube and my sponsor stuff. And look, I've been a brickie for 30 plus years, and I haven't touched the trail now since about October, November last year, where I still used to do a few days a week, and I sort of still miss the old bricklaying days, as tough as they sort of are. But the bricklaying days were great days. I've had some great mates out of it, and always still enjoyed going in and getting the trail out and working with a good bunch of blokes. And so yeah, so pretty much my day job now is pretty much what I'm doing now, pretty much full time, mate. It's YouTube is pretty much taking it up pretty much a lot of my time, and so that's pretty much where I am doing most of the time there, mate. So that pretty much sort of covers that one. Let's go on there. What else we got going there? What's that, Peter? Are you ever going to do a meet and greet? Well, I did one last year. When was that? Melbourne Cup weekend last year. I did a YouTube meet and greet where we went to Talbotville, just out of Dargo there for the long weekend, and quite a few people come down and we hooked up there and good to meet some people off my YouTube channel. So stay tuned, mate, because fair chance, we'll do some more of those down the track. It'd be good to catch up with people off my YouTube, and it's great to catch up with you guys with the support you give the channel and all that sort of thing. So yeah, we'll definitely do some more of those later down the track, mate. So what else going on there, Daniel? Not true. You use that not true. You use that trail to flip eggs. Well, that's about the only time egg flips, the trowel comes out mainly these days is for flipping eggs, that's for sure. I've made an egg flip out of it. That was my last trowel when I finally wrapped up my own business, because I've had my own business going for 25 plus years. And when I finished the last house of that, I thought, I can't chuck this trowel away. It's been great memories. The building trade's been fantastic time and good things for me. So I kept that trowel. All I did was just cut the point off it, and now it sits in the camp box in the back of my trailer. And yeah, mate, I flip eggs and hamburgers with it nowadays. So that's pretty much about it. Well, I think we might wrap this up. Geez, been going on with you blokes for over an hour now. It's been absolutely fantastic. Chatting to you guys here, and some fantastic questions coming through. Sorry, we haven't been able to get to everyone there, but look, I greatly appreciate. This is the first one I've done, and we'll certainly do some more of these. If you've got some topics, you'd certainly like me to touch on, well, maybe put them down in the comments down below, and we might be able to have a chat about some of those sort of topics, whatever you might want some interest in or some feedback on or whatever else. So put any comments and that sort of thing, or whether it be about YouTube or any other topics you want to have a chat to down the track. And I'm going to get off here and let you guys go and carry on with the rest of your night. And most importantly, stay safe, guys, because hopefully it won't be long, and we'll be able to get out and sit around a fire, and instead of chatting to you guys on here, hopefully we'll be able to have a chat maybe out in the bush somewhere with a few beers and get a cranking fire going. So I'm going to wrap this up. Been absolutely fantastic chatting to you. Loved every bit of it. And we'll see you guys maybe on the next. See you guys very soon, and the next video, when that's going to be, which will be next week. Good on you guys. Have a cracking one. Good weekend, and we'll chat to you soon. Uru. Thanks very much for dropping in.